Hello and welcome to Heartland Cattle Call, your all-access pass to everything Limousin in the Heartland. Whether you're in the sale ring, the show ring, or out in the pastures, we've got you covered. Each episode, we bring you exclusive auction previews, market trends, and top-selling cattle straight from the sale ring. But that's not all. We'll also take you inside the biggest Heartland events, showcase top breeders and exhibitors, and break down the latest show results. From production sales to champion ribbons, we're talking with the people who make the industry thrive. Buyers, sellers, ranchers, and showmen who are shaping the future of Limousin cattle. So whether you're looking to invest in elite genetics, sharpen your showmanship skills, or just stay ahead in the business, you're in the right place. Get ready. It's time for Heartland Cattle Call.
Hi, y'all. This is Ashley Wisner with the Heartland Limousin Association, and we are kicking off the first of hopefully many editions of our Heartland Cattle Call. It is your all-access pass to Limousin auctions, events, and industry leaders. And joining me here, I have Charlie Tesch, who is our Heartland sales rep. So you guys will be meeting him out there on the road, hopefully soon, if you haven't already. Charlie, do you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi, my name's Charlie Tesch. I live in Southwest Iowa. Super excited to be starting here and traveling around and getting to meet a lot of people. And I've gotten to meet a lot of people already, and kind of reached out and visited with quite a few already. But tonight, I guess we're gonna start off our first Zoom or call here with Glenn Treftz of where do we go by here? Oh, Wetonka, South Dakota, who has a sale coming up on February 8th.
And I will say, Glenn, you have one of the coolest names of your town. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty easy to remember. It's famous for an Angus breeder that was here many, many years ago that they kind of put Wetonka on the map. So
really, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm Glenn Treftz. What's that?
I bet one of those might be seeing this when this goes out.
Yeah, probably. So I'm Glenn Treftz. Most of you probably know me already if you've been in the Limousin business for a while. I've been in it for 43 years. I think this is going to be my 15th sale. We've got like about 40 yearling bulls, 5 fall bulls, a couple 2-year-old bulls, 5 bred cows, some fall cow calf pairs. We've never done that before, and they're bred with bred back again. 6 bred heifers and 14 open heifers, and then 20 F1 commercial baldy heifers that are half blood Limousin. Like I said, I got started about 40 years ago and never had any plans of ever having a sale, but just kind of fell in love with the cattle. And I've always been kind of a technical guy as far as, specifics and nitpicking. I thought, maybe I could take a stab at trying to produce some bulls. And I don't know, it kind of morphed into where I'm at now. And I guess we started off our motto 15 years ago, where muscle still matters. And I guess it's way more than that. We stress performance in our cattle, milk, fertility, and of course they got to be easy to be around, or I don't want to be around them. So we stress that very hard.
I guess I'll jump into it. I was looking through your book, I guess, the other day since you sent it to me, and I mean, those bulls just stand out. Nothing more probably than that lot 1 and 2. I guess you and I have talked about a little bit. I mean, big spread bulls. I guess you want to talk a little bit about those pair and.
Sure.
I get.
Yeah, we raised a bull 4 or 5 years ago called Treft Hardcore, and we kept an interest in them, and we actually bought ownership back on them a couple years ago. And our first pin of bulls are all sons of his, and they just they're very docile. They're big performance bulls, big ribeye bulls, and we're just very happy with them. So on our first 2 bulls, we're going to sell a pick. And what that is you pick one, and the one that remains will go back in our herd. And So that's on lot 1 and 2.
I guess following up, I mean, what are those first 9-10 bulls? I think are out of hardcore. And...
Yeah, the first pin is all hardcore sons, and we're gonna like to sell that pick, and then we're gonna sell choice of a few bulls, and
okay.
And then our second pin is a group of ET calves out of one of our donor cows and a bull that topped the sale up in Canada a few years ago called Gold Rush. So we're gonna just sell a choice on those 3. We'll sell them all 3, but we'll just sell a choice. Reason being, it's so hard to pick one out above the other. So and they're all very similar. So I thought, I'll just make it easy and let the buyer pick them out.
That's a good looking bull, that Gold Rush.
Yeah,
I think that's a nice looking bull for sure.
And out of that flush, we had 6 calves out of that flush, a couple heifers and 4 bulls, and one of the bulls we're going to keep for ourselves, and he's quite a rip.
Yeah.
But he's somewhat of an outcross to our herd, so that's kind of the reason we buy some of these outcross genetics. We'll get a few heifers once in a while from Canada, just with the attempt to try to raise our own seed stock, because it's getting harder and harder down in the States here to find the true purebred cattle anymore. So we're just trying to buy some outcross genetics from Canada and try to raise our own.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, what would you say if the majority, are you focusing on the red situation right now, or?
No, not necessarily. We've got some guys I got to have them black. So I've always loved the red cattle myself, but got nothing against black. But when you got a real high percentage purebred herd, the red is kind of dominant. You can put black bulls on them. There's 50% of chance you're still going to get a red calf. So if we really want to turn them black, we try to get a hold of a homozygous black bull.
Yeah. And then, I guess you got a handful of those older bulls, and
Yep. We got we did pull one from the sale. He didn't see him in test, so the older bulls are all tested already. So there's 1 2-year-old, and then there's a handful of all bulls, and
they look good.
So they've all been semen tested and trick tested, and they'll all be ready to go on sale day.
Yeah, I mean, look good conditioned and ready to go out and do some work, it looks like. And yeah, and then I see some of the breds are, clean back up, Hershey and Milestone, and I hear a lot about this Lariat bull quite a bit lately from a few guys.
Yeah, he's a bull that we've always, what we've done the last few years is some of the bulls that we sell, we'll keep an interest in them. Mm-hmm. And we've got some real good partners that we share bulls with, and they got totally different breeding seasons than we got. So we'll use them first, and then they'll use them, and then we usually winter the bulls and keep them in condition and stuff. And that's worked out really well.
I mean, just a good way to jump into them things, the way it looks. I mean, you're using the bulls, so.
Yeah. And then, if you got confidence in your own cattle, if it's a sale bull, I always feel if he ain't good enough to use for me, he ain't good enough in anybody else's herd either.
Exactly. I mean, you got to believe in what you're selling. So.
Right.
Oh, and then.
I will say one thing that stands out to me, if I'm ever just, scrolling social media or even flipping through some catalogs, I can recognize a Treftz bull, and I know before I see that you posted that, if I see the picture first, I know that that's your bull, because that's not, if you guys haven't checked out Treftz, his tagline is not just a tagline. Those bulls have some muscle, and it's impressive. They look great.
I do.
Thank you. And I've always been a very strong proponent that, if you're going to cross cattle, you got to have totally opposites, like to get that hybrid bigger, you need your cattle to be very opposite. And I remember that first time that I bought a Limousin bull. I was pretty young yet. Threw him in with my dad's cattle. Back in the 70s, it looked like an elk come out of the mountains into our herd. That's how different that bull was, But man, that cross was just amazing. And
who did you get it from? Who were those first Limousin that you got them from?
There was a guy down the road here that was raising Limousin. Well, I saw my first half-blood Limousin calves at my brother-in-law's, and they had about every color calf you could think of because they had dairy cows. Everybody had dairy cows back in the day, and they'd breed the Holsteins to Hereford or Angus, and then so they always. But I just was up in his pasture one time. Like, holy cow, those calves are impressive. They every color you can think of, but they all had this big rear end on them. So, he took me to where he bought his bull and pulled into the yard there. And actually, that place is just 10 miles from me right now, where I live now. And we pull in there, and here's just this sea of red cattle. And it took 20 years after that I realized just how hard it was for that guy to put that herd of cattle together, within a span of probably 10 years. So I don't know, I just fell in love with that. I've never regretted that decision since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I know you said too, you still have the bulls that have the calving ease too, not just the muscle, not just the size, but they've got all the EPDs.
Right. Yeah, we try to, we don't have a whole lot of heifer bulls because I've always pressed that or pushed that performance pretty hard, and it's sometimes hard to find a really good heifer bull that's big performance too. But we will have at least one big group of or one group of heifer bulls. But I don't know. It seems like my buyers don't get too concerned with the real big birth weights. We try to keep them in check, of course, but I've got some customers that I've had for years that they're not afraid of those 100-pound bulls at all. In fact, they go for them. That's the ones they really want.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you made it easy to read those heifer bulls in there. I think, I called you as soon as I got my book that day, and, the 3 E's, and I mean, it just takes the thought process out of it for you.
Right. I try to make it simple. I kind of those E's are based on the birth weight and the EPDs and if they're stacked for calving E's or whatever. And I sure don't want to sell somebody a bull that's questionable as far as a heifer bull. So
sure.
And something else that I'd say 90 probably. We have bought a few cattle from other producers the last few years, but our whole cow herd goes basically back to like 10 or 11 cow families. So they're very predictable. Yep. And you kind of know what you're going to get when you buy out of them cow families like that. And I still, like we were working some calves the other day, and there was a bull in the lot, and Lori says, "Well, what's his number?" I said 939. She goes, "Well, no, it's 880." Well, I still got all those cows memorized from generations back. It's just these cow families, and that's you get so much predictability in your herd when you raise them yourself and stay within that context of those cow families.
Breed them how you like them.
Right.
I was always told, the guy from Kansas told me, Brad Stoppel, that pendulum will swing and you catch both directions.
Yeah.
So make them how you like them, he said.
Yeah, and that's very true. These are the kind of cattle that I like, and I don't know. I've got some very loyal customers, and they know what they want in bulls. And they want the power, they want the muscle, and and there's getting fewer and fewer of those cattle in the country. So, back in the day, you could sell all our bulls within 100 miles, but now it's a bigger, wider area. But they're willing to come the distance to find the right kind of bulls.
How far away do you usually spread, on your sale?
Oh, they went up to Nova Scotia. They went out to the East Coast, West Coast, and we've sold some down into Mexico before, and Australia, New Zealand. Yeah, that's about it right there.
Just those places?
There's been some interest in Africa and New England, but I'm not sure about that deal yet. Some of the logistics really don't work out real well.
I can see that.
I'll help on delivery on that one. Huh?
Yeah, that'd be a little. Yeah, Charlie, I'll let you deliver that one.
For sure. I mean, I guess quick. I mean, what do you do on delivery?
Oh, we usually we'll go, 300-400 miles. And I usually, if I can get back each day and sleep in my own bed, that's how I want it to be.
That's
Some of them get a little further, but we've got central points that we meet people at. And
Yep.
and there's some pretty good truckers around, like going up into Canada. We usually work with one trucking company, and it's kind of weird how they'll come 2,400 miles sometime, and we'll just meet them in Aberdeen. That's 20 minutes away. That makes it really easy. I've been to the border a couple times, but I'd rather not do that anymore. It's simpler if they just come to my yard.
So, I mean, it's easy enough to get them delivered for you, I guess.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, can make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. And the yearling bulls, we'll keep those till April, and but by then I'm about done calving, so then delivery, it's not such an issue, because we'll be calving here in about 2 weeks, and so then it's kind of, you don't go anywhere for a while.
That's true.
Yeah.
Gotta stay home.
And especially with the price of calves, when you see a 200-pound calf bring almost $1,000 to the sale barn, it makes you pretty edgy at calving season.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
So you said that when you got started, you really kind of never thought you would have a sale, and then you went from that and just getting going to this now, and
right.
You've had so many sales, so many loyal buyers and customers. What would you say, a couple of things, what keeps you going, and what are you the proudest of at what you've been able to accomplish?
I don't have many hobbies, so when I go when I go to the pasture, that's kind of my therapy. I like seeing just really good cattle, and I don't care what breed it is, but that's my therapy. I don't know. There's really been, I don't know. I guess I really can't. One thing is the people too. I've met so many people in this breed, and I don't think I'd have met those people had it not been for the cattle. And I got, just friends everywhere now, and customers that have become friends. And some of us have gotten pretty close. Like there's some that are, coming a long ways here in the next few days, and they'll spend the night here. But they're just not cattle customers anymore. They're friends. But yeah, I guess I'm very proud of my cattle. I try not to let pride get in the way. That's something we don't want to get too carried away with. But I guess they make me happy. When I go out to the pasture, you want something that you like to look at. I get a good feeling.
Yeah, and it kind of puts you. It kind of brings you a sense of peace.
Right.
I think it says it in your book. It takes as much to feed a good one as it does a bad one.
Yeah,
I think it's in the book.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to it, So
yeah,
we try to make our cows work, like we call pretty hard, and I don't know, it's in my opening letter too. I think where our bull calves average 794 off the cow this fall, and you got to make every cow work. Dude, I just got no. I don't know. There's just no place here for cows that can't do it, and just don't fall in love with them too much. Just move them down the road and bring in the next generation. So,
well, Glenn, is there anything else that you want to remind everybody about, tell everybody about, takeaways, key points?
I just want everybody to travel safe when they come here. It's looking like we might get a little snow this weekend. So, Charlie, make sure you get down to your mom's on Friday night.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Our sale's kind of like a big family reunion in a way. People, we got the same crowd usually every year, and we really try to have a good time when everybody gets together, and it's just trying to make it a fun sale.
Charlie, what else?
February 8th, 1 o'clock.
February 8th, 1 o'clock.
On the dot?
On the dot, because Chisholm's my auctioneer, and that's what I like. I tell you, he's ready to go at 1.
I've always been
Some-
told that he's gonna
That's
crack
right.
that one.
Sometimes it gets kind of annoying. You watch these sales; they're supposed to start at 1, and I don't come in the house much. So you come in, you want to watch the sales. Okay, it's 1:20. Got a lot of introductions to do yet, but
I got a friend of mine that just has a conniption fit about that. He's like, it's been 30 minutes. They ain't going yet.
that's right. I'm the same way. I'm Mr. Impatient. So,
Yep. right.
oh yeah,
February 8th at 1 o'clock on the dot.
Yep.
We're gonna go.
yeah, on the
And-
dot. Yeah,
and
and
I
and if anybody wants to come out the day before, Friday's usually a pretty busy day. There'll be some traffic in the yard, and people won't want to see the bulls and heifers or whatever. And so,
Everything's on DV auction and
yep,
book videos are up. I seen them.
yep, and I'll be putting a sale order up here in a couple days. So
Okay.
it's not going to be. We usually do catalog order, but this year we're going to mix it up just a little bit at the front of the sale. There's some bulls that are becoming a little more popular as the days goes on. So we'll try to move them to the front a little bit. So if they don't get the bull that they want, they can get their second choice.
Yeah. Is the data online already? I haven't looked, I guess.
The what?
Is the scan data and stuff online?
Yep. Supplement
Okay,
sheets
all
all
right.
been up there for a week or two.
All right.
so-
I was gonna say I
Yep.
didn't see that. Okay.
Yep. It's all on there. It's either on DV auction or on our website, TreftzLimousin.com. It's also out there.
And we will link your website when we post this too.
Okay.
But I just want to say, from everybody in the Heartland Limousine organization, thank you for all your support. And thank you for being our first victim of this video podcast.
Does that
Can
make
only
me
go up
number
from
one?
here, right?
And we appreciate your patience, but most of all, thank you for your support. And we know you're going to have a great sale. And I'm a little bit jealous of Charlie that he gets to be there, but I'm very excited to hear about it.
You've never heard that before, right, Charlie?
I heard the lunch is good.
Yeah. The lunch can be a surprise a little bit because we got the Hutterite Colony makes our lunch, and they
I
like
heard
to
it's
throw
good.
some surprises in there once in a while, like chicken feet or duck, mysterious duck parts, stuff like that. So more people remember the food sometimes than the cattle. It's
It's
amazing.
Saturday. It's fresh bread day.
Yeah. There's always that one little cook, cook stove or whatever at the end of the table, and nobody ever knows what's in it. They open it up, you're gonna find out.
Let's go for a barbecue.
Yeah, just stick with the barbecue, you'll be safe. No, you'll be limousine burger only.
All right.
Well, thank you, Glenn. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you both for getting this thing rolling.
Well,
It's nice
hopefully
to
it
have
comes
new
out
blood in the situation right now. So
good. It's good.
and